How's everybody doing out there? I hope you're doing well. This video, I want to talk about questions that you'll commonly get, a couple questions that you're going to get if you are becoming a home builder or building spec homes and starting to work with clients. One of the biggest ones is going to be, what is the price per square foot to build a new home? This was our parade of homes, model homes. So we did some different features in here. We may not do in all of our houses. You see, we did this quartz waterfall top, and it's super thick as well. We did the beams in the ceiling back here. We've got the barn door over there, fancy Kohler faucet. Those are things that are, I would say, above and beyond what they are above and beyond what we normally do in a spec home. But if you were going to build this home with a full basement, and this home is about 2,200 square feet. On the outside of this home, we've got a good amount of stone, good roof pitch. We've got James Hardie cement board siding. So there's a lot of stuff in this home. So this home here is approximately $220 per square foot. That's a big amount, but that includes what you see in the model here, and it's going to include driveway, building permits, sewer and water hookups. Now, we're in a subdivision, we're on a lot with a 25-foot setback, so we don't really have super long laterals for sewer water, don't really have a super long driveway, so that can vary depending on where you're building. So if somebody asks a question, if they come in here and they say, well, how much is it per square foot to build a house? Well, it really varies, because I could take this exact same house, I could remove the beams, I could put in just a normal granite countertop here, I could go with a pocket door there instead of a barn door, I could do a faucet that's a couple $100 less. There's a lot of different things that you can do, and when we're building a spec home, those are all things that we do. This parade of homes is something that we're putting out once a year. It's going to have more in it than normal. So it really varies based upon the floor plan, the ceiling heights, the amount of windows in a home, the finishes that are in a home. This home's about 2,200 square feet. It's got a good amount of character. The dinette is bumped out. There's a good amount of foundation corners. It's got taller roof pitches. Like I said, it's got a good amount of stone on the outside, cement board siding. So this is $220 a square foot. Now I could take another 2,200 square foot house that's very basic. It's got vinyl siding. It's got pretty much a rectangular foundation. It's still has the landscaping, the site improvements, but it doesn't have the beams. It's got shorter ceilings, granite or laminate countertops, and that house could be $180 a square foot. So if somebody asks me the question of, what do you charge per square foot to build? It's such a generalized question, and you need to have more information. I'll usually come back with, well, what type of home are you thinking about building? Is it a ranch or a two-story? There's a huge difference between cost per square foot when it comes to a ranch or a two-story. It's a lot less money to build a two-story home because there's less foundation, there's less roof. If you think of a 2,000 square foot ranch, I've got a basement this big. But if I've got a 2,000 square foot two-story, I've got 1,000 square feet on the first floor and 1,000 on the second. So my basement is smaller and I've got less roof. So that alone is going to make the cost per square foot with a two-story significantly less than it is with a ranch. You're going to get asked that question because people feel like they can go out and ask you, well, what's your price per square foot? And they can ask another builder, well, what's your price per square foot? And if his is lower than yours and they're looking for the lower number, then that's where they're going to go. But there's so much more that goes into that. It doesn't give them all the information that they need. They may end up choosing the guy that says his price per square foot is lower, but by the time the house is built, it's actually more per square foot than what yours was, because the number that they were giving him was for the base house. It didn't even include floors, lights. Say it didn't even include plumbing fixtures. I mean, who knows? Everybody's got different standard features in their home, and that goes into what the price per square foot is as well. So if somebody asks you that question, you're going to want to tell them, okay, in order for me to to give you an accurate number there, or at least a accurate ballpark on what the price per square foot is, I'm going to need to get a little more information from you. You know, are you talking about this house here, you know, what you see here? If you want to know what the price per square foot is for this exact house, well, I know that. I mean, I know what the build cost is $500 for the house. It's 2,200 square feet, so it's going to be around $220 per square foot. But if you're talking about, you know, a 2-story home and you don't need hardwood all the way throughout and you don't need quartz countertops, well then, you know, maybe we're around $175 a square foot. So it's going to be helpful for the client too. They may think that initial question of what the price is per square foot is going to be good information for them, but it's really not. It's not a good answer. So make sure to get information from them. And once you do that, once you're getting that information from them, you've got a lot of information from them. You can help them find the floor plan or find a floor plan. You can give them more of a ballpark price. It's going to help you kind of towards that next step of where you need to take them. Another common question that you're going to get is, what makes you different from the other builders, or why should I go with you? So you want to make sure you've already got something prepared to say here. So do some research, find out what makes you different from the other builders. You know, even if you're working for a huge, you know, tract builder, you know, when did the company start? Was it a family that started it? Does that family still own it? You want to be able to give a little bit of a story. You know, so even if you're a salesperson for a big tract builder, you know, you can say, you know, this company was started back in 1950. It was started by Tom and Mary, husband and wife. It's been passed down from generations. You know, we try to ensure that every home that we build has the standards that Tom and Mary set forth when they started the company. There's just such a good amount of history here. You know, we use these products on the home. That's what your sales pitch, your difference would be. For me, I'm a custom home builder. So when somebody asks me that, this is what I tell them. Well, we're a smaller builder. You know, we build between, you know, 25 and 20 homes a year. We use all the same people on every home. The owners of the company are involved throughout the entire process with you. We offer more communication than a lot of the others, and we really strive to do this. We've got an app called CoConstruct that we use, and this allows further communication beyond just our phone calls back and forth. We have a lot of meetings throughout the building process. We encourage you to be on site and to meet with us as much and as often as you need to, so on and so forth. So that's what our story is. You know, we use all the same people, we're smaller, and then I'll also specify that we're custom. You know, compared to a lot of the other builders in the area, we don't need to just have you pick out a floor plan and then work off of that floor plan. We can start from scratch. We can go online and find something. Maybe we can use this house as a starting point and then tweak and massage from there. But most of the other builders in our area don't do that. So if you're truly looking for a custom build and you want to be able to get all of the things that you want in the home, that's why we're the builder for you, because we can make that happen. That's what we do. That's what we've always done. Or, you know, maybe your story is, you know, you worked on houses for multiple other builders and you've just seen the deficiencies in these homes, and every time you go into a builder's home, you just think to yourself, man, I would do things so much differently. I could do things so much better than that. Maybe that's your story, and you never want to tear down another builder. You know, if I'm talking about us and I'm comparing us to a builder that's more focused on the price and they're not custom and we'll say they're more of a tract builder, I'm going to say that, you know what, this builder, they've got a great business model. They're a great building company, but they're more focused on the price. So they're going to be using materials that may not cost them as much, so that there's an overall lower building expense. And we just believe in the fact that we want to build a home for you the same way we would build it for ourselves. So even though this window costs more than the window that they're using, this is the one that I would put into my house, and that's why we're using this. And you can go into that story of, how you used to work on houses and you've just seen things that you've thought to yourself, man, I would do so much better there, or I'm going to focus on that. I'm going to make sure when I build my houses, there's never this issue. Basically just telling your story. You don't need to tear anybody else down. And more times than not, if you can be, honest about it and looking them in the eye and passionate about it, it's going to go a long way. Now, when you first tell this story to somebody, you may be kind of stumbly, bumbly. Maybe you're not good with speaking to people yet, but after you get some practice and you've done it time after time again, you're going to know the story. You're not going to have to think about it, and you can just let the passion, the honesty take over, let the words flow, and potential clients will be able to see that. Now, I would say the third most common question is, okay, how do we get started, or what are the next steps? So make sure that you've thought about this. When somebody asks me, we sit down at the table, we have our initial meeting, and they ask me at the end of the meeting, okay, what are the next steps? So they like how the meeting went. They like what I had to say. I feel like they trust me. They want to continue working with me. And I'll tell them, well, okay, so first I'm going to take all the information that I have, and I'm going to put some ballpark pricing together for you. Or if it's based off of this house that I'm in, it'll be exact pricing because I know what the pricing is. But I'm going to take all the information that I got at our meeting today. I'm going to get back to you with pricing. And then if we're good with the pricing, the next step after that is moving forward with a preliminary plan. So that's where we're going to take all of the things that we talked about here at this meeting, all of these notes that I have. We're going to come up with our own starting point. That way we can come back here. We've got our own plan that we can look at. We can work off of there. We can still make tweaks and changes to that. But once we've got that plan pretty much nailed down, then we're going to take that and turn it into the full set of blueprints. Now, while that's happening, there are certain things that we can actually have you pick out. You can go and start looking at countertops, cabinets, light fixtures, things like that. You can have them working and doing homework and getting more invested in the building process while you are, getting their full set of blueprints ready. You can also explain to them that, while this is going on, one of the other next steps is survey work. Checking out your lot, making sure that this home's going to fit on the lot, and possibly having the surveyor come out to do a topographical survey on the lot to see whether or not we're going to have basement exposure, or if we're going to have issues with the lot when it comes to investigating if there's sewer, water, gas, electric. Those are the things that I'm going to be doing for you that are part of the next steps. And then you may also want to have something that's called a pre-construction agreement. So after you've laid out what those next steps are, you're going to let them know, part of taking the next step is this pre-construction agreement that we have. So what this is it's going to cover and talk about everything that I just told you, but there are going to be some expenses. We have to pay the draftsman to get a preliminary plan drafted and then to get a full set of blueprints drafted, and we have to pay a surveyor to do survey work. So this pre-construction agreement is just saying, this is what we're going to be doing. This is the amount that we need in order to move forward with that, because if God forbid something happened, you decide that you don't want to move forward after we've got blueprints, after we have time invested, then at least this initial amount here on the pre-construction agreement of $5,000 will cover the blueprints and the survey work, and that's just something that we need for our assurance to be able to, just start going all out, working hard for you and moving things along. Pause. Okay, so I feel like those are the three most common questions that, that people are going to ask once you have a spec home, and maybe they're meeting you there or you're talking to somebody about building. So if you kind of know what those are and you can expect those and have some answers prepared for that, you'll definitely be better off. If you don't subscribe, please subscribe. Hit the little bell for notifications so that when I do videos like this, you'll get notified. If you know anybody in the industry that would benefit from these, please share. Really appreciate your time. Take care, and God bless.